Jets lose again, this one in New Orleans, 29-6. The final, now 3-12 on the season. Jets have lost 3 in a row and 5 of their last 6 games. And guys, listen, we could get into the weeds on this game, but I don't think that matters too much of anybody who's watching this show right now, nor does it really matter to us. What matters is the big picture, and that's what this entire season has been about, the big picture. And is Aaron Glenn the guy that is going to completely turn this organization and this team and put them in the right direction? And the thing is, when you look at this year so far, 0-7 start, very concerning. But then there was a 5-game stretch where the Jets won 3 of 5. The 2 losses to Baltimore and New England, more competitive than we thought they would be. And it felt like things were indeed turning and inching in the right direction. These last 3 games, though, have been as bad a stretch as we've seen all year. And again, it just kind of throws into question, all right, where are they at right now as an organization, as a team, when it comes to trying to build something for next year?
I mean, it's disheartening, right? Because you understand losing to Baltimore, losing to New England, but losing to New Orleans is a team that's kind of in the same position you're in. They have a rookie quarterback. Now, granted, he wasn't an undrafted rookie free agent, but, he's a rookie nevertheless. The Saints shouldn't be 23 points better than you. And, they don't have Alvin Kamara playing. Yeah. They got guys that are out on both sides. They're playing spirited, right? And Kellen Moore has those guys believing. They've won 3 in a row. And what happens is we understand what next week and the week after that is probably going to be. But this was the one that you was like, well, we just need this one for morale to say, hey, at least we're better than the Saints. At least we're better than the bad teams. At least, now this keeps the Jets thinking, hey, I'm maybe 31 out of 32 teams. Maybe the only team we're better than, potentially because we saw, what the difference is. And not who you play is when you play them. I understand that. But we watched the Tennessee Titans, beat the brakes off of the Chiefs. Yep. And they had everybody except for Patrick Mahomes. So it tells you the difference and the impact of a good quarterback. And we'll see if they continue to keep putting Cook out there, even when Tyrod Taylor was healthy enough to be the backup.
Yeah, I think spirit is the right word. We just didn't see it. I thought they tried to commit to the run early, and it just, they loaded the box and made it tough against the run. But I also think, when you're in those positions, it's about winning on early downs, and we didn't do that, right? And I thought anytime we got 3rd and long, it just made the game tough for Brady Cook, and he just couldn't match up against the defense. They were showing him multiple looks. We got pressure. I thought both our tackles had a little bit of a rough day. But overall, man, he is who he is, and when you don't have Brees kind of being your spearhead of that offense, or at least get him enough touches, you've kind of felt like you was out there fighting one-handed. And I thought offensive line got knocked around a little bit today. I wanted them to see them play a lot better and be a lot more physical. That didn't happen. I think between these stunts and blitzes, they looked like they was kind of outclassed today. So it was a tough day all the way around for the offense.
And on the other side of the ball, I mean, there's just still guys running wide open. There's just some plays just feel way too easy. The tackling isn't great. It's just surprising to me, right? You could sit here, and I think even the biggest Aaron Glenn defenders or Jets optimists right now go, well, let's be real, guys. They're starting an undrafted free agent rookie quarterback. They have a lot of backups in, and all of that makes sense. But Bart absolutely nailed it in the beginning that look on the other side of the field and look at the Saints right now. Tyler Shuck was not a first-round pick. Sure, he was taken in the 2nd round, but he was viewed as a guy that needed a little time on their bench. They have a lot of young players in. They have a lot of backups. The backfield was guys off the street for the Saints today. Yeah, there's Chris Olave out there, but after that, Juwan Johnson ate the Jets alive today. So I think when you look at it, to me, schematically and fundamentally, this defense is completely broken. And I just really struggle with that when you hired a defensive head coach. And we can sit here and listen as much as we want that Aaron Glenn saying it was Steve Wilks' defense. Well, Steve Wilks isn't here anymore now. And I'm not expecting it to be fixed in a week. That's not what I'm saying. But, man, you're just looking for things to make you a little bit more confident going to year 2 of this regime. And I'm struggling to find them. And it is disheartening because when you have a first-year coach and a new regime, you don't expect the playoffs. You don't even expect to be that team on the fringe. But you look for little things that are going in the right direction. We were talking off air that as tough as things were for a lot of the Robert Saleh era, there were little things that year that we picked at. Right now, I'm really struggling to find them. How many times can we talk about the special teams on this? Come on.
Right. And and to your point about, because I was just going to say that what we were talking about with Robert Saleh, nobody's going to sit up here and say that Robert Saleh did a good job as the Jets head coach. But that first year, and even throughout his tenure, you could at least point to the defense and say, hey, this unit is really good, and this unit's going to keep you in games. There is nothing, again, aside from the special teams, which, come on, we're not going to hang our hat as a fan base. You're not going to sit there and say, hey, we feel good about 2026 because special teams was good in 2025. Right now, if you ask Jets fans or anybody on this desk, there's nothing that you can sit and say, man, that feels really good going into next year. And again, you never know what's going to happen any given Sunday, but the odds are that the Jets are going to enter this offseason now on a 5-game losing streak, and really an ugly 5-game losing streak. Not a lot of competitive games in that 5 games, and 2 of them, again, were against teams in New Orleans and Miami that you should have been a lot better against.
I just hope, because if they think that they can put this performance out next week, they'll get a 50-burger. And it'll be even more embarrassing, especially 2 teams within your division that's going to kick you while you're down, and they also are trying to fight for a divisional title. And the schedule makers got it right. I think when you schedule inter-conference or inter-division games at the end of the season, you're going to get spirited side for that side. So either you can stand up and fight back, have some type of resistance, or you can just take it. I was about to say something else. You can just,
Right.
You can just take it, and that's kind of where they are. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you, right? So, everybody got to look themselves in the eye and say, hey, man, we need to finish this thing out right, because I don't want to just get beat and get embarrassed. It's my last 2 games. At the end of the day, you got to walk around this city. You got to walk around your neighborhood, and you don't want to be represented that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a redundant message, but this is an audition for every man in the helmet. And what you put on tape is your walking, breathing resume. And, Will McDonald, I thought he had a strong 4th quarter, but overall there's certain guys that you expect to just play at a higher level, and we didn't get that. And then that's when you don't want to talk about taking, you don't want to talk about teams giving up, but today it felt like they tapped. And we got 2 games where you got to have it, not got to have it, but you want to show up and not get embarrassed, and that's what we're looking at right now.
And